NBC 9 First News on KCWE starts now.
This is not an overdose. This is an accidental death, and we need to hold those drug pushers accountable.
Federal legislation designed to crack down on fentanyl deaths is going to the Senate floor. We'll explain how a local family has been working to make this a reality.
So I think any Kansas Citian, and I'm one of them, would say, why the heck doesn't it work?
Kansas City leaders, as well as regional partners, are trying to hash out a fix for long 911 wait times. We'll explain how one proposal could streamline calls. And Evergy wants to raise rates for Kansas customers. We'll explain what they want to use the money for, and we'll tell you which cities could end up paying more than others. 8 o'clock on your Friday morning. Thanks so much for joining us on First News. I'm Jamie Weiss. Nick Bender. We just upgraded today's First Alert Weather Impact Day into an alert day. Why did we make that change?
The confidence in some severe thunderstorms has increased, along with the potential for more significant wind gusts. So that's why we've upgraded that to an alert. You know, when our confidence in a threatening weather increases, that's when you're going to see that upgrade from an impact to an alert. The timing has not changed. At between 4 o'clock this afternoon and 9 o'clock this evening for scattered thunderstorms, some of which will likely be severe. The most concerning severe weather threat would be damaging wind followed by large hail. It's a low chance of a tornado. Right now we're more focused on the damaging straight line wind potential. You see some scattered clouds here in Kansas City. It is a muggy morning. You know, the dew point values or the surface moisture continues to increase. You know, that's fuel for thunderstorms, dew points, moisture. Near 80 degrees in Butler, Lacine, Leavenworth, 75 in St. Joe. We look at our 12-hour forecast here in Kansas City. You can see how that chance of storms really ramps up. You know, from 4 to 8 o'clock this evening, storms are likely, and it's also during that time we need you to remain alert for severe weather. You know, not all storms this evening will produce severe weather, but some likely will. So please make sure you have the KNBC app on your phone. That way, if there's any watches or warnings issued, you will receive them, no matter if you're at your home or you're at the ball game or you're just out on a Friday night, Johnny.
All right, Nick, we'll be watching that for sure. Be up in News Chopper 9 tracking any severe storms coming in as well. Looks like it's going to be daylight when that happens. A lot of them have been at night lately, and yeah, a little tough for us to do that from Chopper 9 then. Let's take a look at the slowdown here. Southbound I-35, it is going to be, southbound 69 highway. It's going to be traffic down to a crawl because of an accident we had further downstream, up the hill past Telegraph Hill, if you will, over Antioch, and then down to merge with the Blue Valley Parkway on-ramp is where we had a truck actually overturn going over the right side over some of those temporary barriers that they have, those concrete barriers on the right side of the road. So still working that, only one lane getting by. That's why it's backed up from there all the way to College Boulevard for all intents and purposes. This is probably a 15-minute, maybe a 20-minute drive time delay, not the inbound, so it could be worse, but doesn't look like they're going to clear this anytime soon. If you're headed in this direction, might want to think about Antioch down to 119th Street, and then maybe even Metcalf over to Blue Valley Parkway. Southbound from there will put you past the accident location. Shouldn't be a slowdown there at all. Johnny Rollins, News Chopper 9, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Johnny. We are watching another step forward in the fight against fentanyl. The Cooper-Davis Act is now headed to the U.S. Senate. It's named after a Johnson County teen who died after taking just half of a fake Percocet pill that was laced with fentanyl. He had bought it off social media. The act, if made law, would create better communications between the social media companies and local and federal authorities to report drug dealers on social media. The Davis family and a group of senators drafted the measure.
The whole hope here is that we'll be saving the lives of thousands and thousands of Americans. 300 people dying every day from fentanyl poisoning across the entire country. This is absolutely an epidemic, and it's going to get worse, I'm afraid.
There's no word yet on when the Cooper-Davis Act will reach the Senate floor for a vote, but of course we will be watching. Police have arrested a man accused of killing another in Lawrence. Detectives found 62-year-old David Blaine Sullivan's body near 6th and Vermont just before 11 Wednesday morning. Police arrested 34-year-old Chadwick Potter on Mass Street last night. He's being held on a charge of first-degree murder, but the Douglas County prosecutor has not filed those charges just yet. One person is dead while another is fighting for their life after a car crashed into a home overnight just before 1. This happened near 34th Street in Campbell. A Mustang was speeding when it hit a stone retaining wall, then caught fire. The driver died at the scene. A second person was taken to the hospital in critical condition. Police are still investigating this incident. Kansas City leaders are working together to cut down on 911 wait times. The Mid-America Regional Council held a special meeting yesterday, and they agreed to send a letter to Motorola asking for an automated system. So this would filter 911 callers to the police and fire departments, as well as the non-emergency 311 line. The goal here is just to break up the call volume coming into each 911 center as they continue to deal with staffing shortages.
All options are open, but this is an emergency in Kansas City. This is not something that can just be a delayed investigation for 6 months or a year.
Right now, just 41% of 911 calls are picked up in 15 seconds. The national standard is 90%. Time now is 8:05. People in Kansas could soon see their energy bills going up. In cities like Overland Park, the increase could just be $3 a month. But in cities like Olathe, Lawrence, and Leavenworth, it could be $14. Customers had a chance to learn more about the possible rate hikes at a hearing in Overland Park last night, and people were able to share their opinions with the Kansas Corporation Commission. The commission will give their final approval.
In this particular case, a lot of the investment that we're asking to recover are things that improve reliability for customers, that are systems that help make customer service better. We just recently launched an employee app, for example, so that's just a way that makes some of the account services more accessible to customers who want to use them online.
Well, if you have opinions, and we know a lot of you do, you can comment online until September 29th at kcc.ks.gov. Evergy says if approved, these rate increases wouldn't go into effect until December at the earliest. The Kansas City Royals begin the second half of their season today, and you're definitely going to notice some changes at Kauffman Stadium. KMBC 9's Rebecca Gannon joining us live this morning at the K. And Rebecca, you could say we've got a new lineup, if you will, out there.
Oh, Jamie, you took the joke right out of my mouth. Yeah, we do have a lineup. 40 new players. Players with a lot of heart. KC hearts, to be exact. The Parade of Hearts is here at the Kauffman Stadium here, and it will be for the next week or so. And joining me right now is the artist of one of those. David, so tell me about the inspiration behind your heart here.
Hey, good morning, Rebecca. My inspiration was to capture all the emotions and experiences in Kansas City and convey that without telling any or using any words to tell a story.
All right, so talk to me about some of the pictures that you've chosen to show here. You've got musical instruments. Kind of tell me a little bit about this. The fountain is there in the middle?
Yeah. So the title is A Heart of Gold. I wanted to capture like what does gold entail? And gold through experiences is captured through the music, the sports, the nature, and then the symbols we have in the city. So we have the shuttlecocks for the art, we have the music represented by the jazz band, the woman dancing, and then the country music as well, because I wanted to pay homage to the balance between the two, where country music's selling out the stadiums, like it's huge. But we still have those intimate jazz settings as well. And then same thing with the deer head and the birds flying around. Like I would say besides like your domesticated pets, deer are probably the most influential animals within the city.
I love it. And here, for those of you who are wondering, he is right next to the Frank White Jr. statue right here at center field. So you want to talk about this. And for someone who is a North KC native, I mean, you went to North KC High School. How does this feel?
This has been incredible, an opportunity to share just how much the city has meant to me, and I can just capture those emotions and then share that with the city itself. It's a beautiful experience.
I love it. David, thank you so much. And like I said, he is one of 40 people whose hearts are displayed here. Like I said, we're in center field right next to the Frank White Jr. statue here, and they are on display for the next week. And starting next Wednesday, you can start bidding on those at auction online, but you can see them here through next Friday. Here at the K, Rebecca Gannon, KMBC 9 News.
Thank you, Rebecca. I just love seeing all the different hearts in the parade, and it's so special. They're all going to be at the K. Tonight might not be the best night to go take a look at them because of the weather.
Yeah, listen, if you're heading out to Kauffman Stadium, you need the KMBC app on your smartphone. That way, if a watch or warning is issued, you're going to receive that hopefully in enough time to seek shelter, because thunderstorms are likely, some of which will likely be severe, and the timing that we need to remain alert is between 4 and 9 o'clock this evening. It'll be a hot and humid day. 91 degrees, and those clouds will clear out overnight. I guess the only flip side of this that's on the positive is that rain that we get is beneficial. It's come with a risk of severe weather, damaging wind, the most concerning threat with those storms. Saturday, mostly sunny, high temperature up near 90. We're in the 90s on Sunday. We do have another chance of thunderstorms. This would be Sunday evening. So Sunday evening into Sunday night, there's the potential of thunderstorms, some of which could be on the strong side, but we're most focused right now on this afternoon and this evening's increased chance of severe thunderstorms between 4 and 9 o'clock. Jamie.
Definitely going to be paying close attention to that. Thank you, Nick. And want to give you the heads up, we also have something that might impact your weekend, and that is road work this weekend. So I've got all the details about the Buck O'Neill Bridge construction closures over on my social media pages. That's Jamie Weiss KMBC on Facebook, Twitter, and on Threads. Quick check for you. The big one to deal with, east and westbound I-70, right lane shutting down at Broadway Boulevard tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Going to remain closed for 40 days. All morning long, we've been telling you about something that you can help with doing good to get something for free. So all morning, KMBC 9 First News has been out getting you some coffee. And this morning, we're going to pick up your tab for a cup also to support KBC's Back to School Drive. First Alert Weather's Katie Horner is live in Lenexa this morning. And Katie, you've been having so much fun out there delivering coffees, getting people to donate. Why are we asking people to do this?
Because there are children in foster care that just need a little helping hand, and we'll take these donations. A $9 donation will help provide underwear and socks. A $25 donation will help fill a backpack with school supplies, and a $50 donation, something really near and dear to my heart, is being able to provide a child with the opportunity to go shopping for their first day of school clothes. So if you're coming out to Black Dog Coffee House today on Lenexa, we're going to buy you a cup of coffee. I've got one here. This is for Cody. It's a salted caramel toasted marshmallow cream puff. Oh, Cody
from TV.
Cody, thank you for joining me out here today. How can people help?
Well, we know, as we said, we get back to school, right? That's sort of a season of life for many families, and so many kids look forward to going to the store and buying goods, and you're buying their school supplies and their clothes. But many kids don't have that opportunity, as Katie was saying. So all you have to do here, come here between 9 and 10, we'll buy you a cup of coffee. It doesn't have to be a salted caramel thing, but it could be. It could be. You take your phone, you scan these QR codes that we have set up here as you're drinking your free cup of joe, and it'll pop up a website through KVC. And it's really, really easy. You go through the process, and you can do $9 or $25 or $50. $50 is the big number because it can actually help these kids go out and pick their own school clothes.
And I love that.
Which is just something that they don't usually have the opportunity to do. So every little bit helps, and we appreciate it. And we'd love to come see you here between 9 and 10.
Yes. And again, we invite you to come out to Black Dog Coffee House here in Lenexa on 87th Street and take part in this. We'll see you here between 9 and 10. Katie and Cody, live in Lenexa, back to you.
All right, see you guys out there soon. Thanks, Katie. Another policy clash is underway in Congress, and it's putting a big budget item at risk.
Arguments over abortion and social policy jeopardizing the military budget next year. I'm Amy Lou in Washington with the new pushback from House Democrats overnight.
Today is an alert day. Stay connected with First Alert Weather. KMBC 9 News, leading the way.
Welcome back. It is 8:16 as we take a look at your First Alert traffic. It's been a big problem here southbound 69 Highway, the Overland Parkway, just before the merge with Blue Valley Parkway. This part of that big construction project, 69 Express, and a lot of swerving around. Look to the upper left. You can see how those lanes really move around, especially in that area where they have that, I believe 135th Street off-ramp is shut down. But this semi, well, it was reported to be a semi. It looks like it might be a dump truck, kind of tough to tell, but you can see the crane in the center right of the screen trying to get this vehicle back upright. You can also see to the far right side of the screen that concrete barrier, that temporary concrete barrier, has been moved. It blew right through that and then onto the shoulder of the road there. So it really isn't blocking any through lanes, but unfortunately only one lane getting by. Still backed up at College Boulevard. Still looking at a 20 or 25 minute delay. Johnny Rollins, News Chopper 9, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Johnny. And we'd like to urge you to take a moment. Please look at your screen, because right now, Kansas City, Missouri police need your help to find a missing person who could be in danger. Jada Kimbrough was last seen around 5 o'clock Thursday walking around 12th in Michigan. She's 5'8", weighs 280 pounds, and police say she has PTSD, autism, and is attracted to water. So please, if you see her, call police. Breaking overnight, leading House Democrats say they'll be voting no on the National Defense Authorization Act. It's supposed to fund the military, but Republicans added amendments on abortion, racial issues, and more. Amy Lou is in our Washington bureau with how this will affect the bill's chances of passing.
It's hard to say right now, but with top Democrats signaling that their party will vote no on this bill, Republicans can only stand to lose 5 votes or the bill fails.
We're saying, women, you don't count. That's what this bill says, and that's why, sadly, so many of us are going to vote against it.
House Democrats protesting amendments to next year's military funding bill.
The amendment is adopted.
As Republicans push through changes restricting access to gender-affirming care and diversity programs. But most controversial, preventing the military from covering travel costs for service members seeking reproductive health care outside of states where they're stationed and the procedure is illegal.
We got to stop being to women. We got to stop targeting women and do the things that make a real difference.
Meanwhile, conservative Republicans are demanding to push the same controversial amendments even further. Proposals Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin says will jeopardize military operations and national security.
I think our troops don't get to choose where they're assigned, and certainly we want to make sure that our troops are not disadvantaged.
Amendments brought by conservative Republicans to strip aid to Ukraine ultimately failed, but those members may withhold their votes when the bill comes up for a final vote on the House floor this morning. In Washington, I'm Amy Lou.
Whatever passes the House will need to garner at least 60 votes in the Senate, where Democrats hold 51 seats. Getting gas while giving back, a program in Kansas, is expanding. Next on First News, we'll show you the Kansas City gas station you can stop by to raise some money for some furry friends. Getting gas while also giving back to a good cause. Some gas pumps in Kansas are helping puppies in need. The Lawrence Humane Society is teaming up with Ag Oil to raise money with a puppy pump. So 2 cents of every gallon sold at this pump will go to the Humane Society. There's also 2 other puppy pumps in Topeka and Kansas.
It really adds up. It doesn't sound like a lot to have 2 cents of every gallon. But if you think about, cars, we need cars to get around. We don't have a lot of public transportation around here. And it really adds up.
The pump in Lawrence is at 30th and Iowa. The goal here is to raise $10,000 for the shelter by the end of this year. As the Royals get ready to open the second half of their season today, the team has already announced their 2024 schedule. The season will open on Thursday, March 28th at the K. They will play all 29 other teams. 52 games will be against American League Central teams, while 46 games will be interleague matchups. The regular season will wrap up the final weekend in September in Atlanta. So lots to look forward to in baseball. And unfortunately, Nick, for folks who might be heading out to the K tonight, you'd need to have a weather plan in place.
You do, because we have upgraded from an impact to an alert day. So what does that mean? What prompted us to do that? Our confidence, or the chance of severe weather, has increased. Not for everybody, but for some it has. I'm going to show you where here in a moment. So the timing has not changed between 4 and 9 o'clock. That's the time we need you alert for severe weather. The most likely threats would be damaging wind and large hail. It's a low tornado potential, but we're more focused on that damaging wind. So you need the KMBC app to receive those alerts if they're issued. And No Weather Radio would be great for your home, and make sure your wireless emergency alerts are turned on your phones. It's a humid morning. It's 78 degrees. The wind is calm right now. Wish just a little bit of wind to cool things off. We look at it on our 12-hour forecast today in Kansas City. It'll be a hot day, and here's that increased chance of thunderstorms between 4 and 8 o'clock here for Kansas City. Storms are likely during that time. Some of them will be severe. So here's the timing for all of our communities with FutureScan. We might see those storms starting to develop here northeast Kansas over to the metro as early as 4 o'clock. But then the larger cluster of thunderstorms comes through 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock into the evening into central Missouri, and then the storms will begin to dissipate shortly thereafter, with rain trailing back to the west overnight. The rain would be a big blessing. It's just we don't want it with the chance of damaging wind. So as we look at the risks, the potential of damaging wind is highest for the areas shaded in orange here in eastern Kansas, western Missouri. That includes Kansas City, with the potential for wind gusts as high as 75 miles per hour. There still is a severe weather risk here in the yellow for northern and central Missouri. It's just not as high. But I would like you to prepare the same way, whether you're in the yellow area or the orange area. Have a plan in place, know where you're going to be this evening, where you got to go to be safe, and have ways to receive warnings like the KMBC app. Sunny on Saturday, 88 degrees. Storm chances return on Sunday evening.
Drivers, Overland Park Police are currently on the scene of a semi-crash on southbound 69 highway near Blue Valley Parkway. This is causing a massive backup leading all the way to 435, so you are going to want to avoid the area if you can. The Cooper-Davis Act is heading to the U.S. Senate. It's named after a Johnson County teen who died after taking half of a fake Percocet pill laced with fentanyl that he had bought off social media. The act, if law, would create better communications between the social media companies and local and federal authorities to report drug dealers on social media. Kansas City leaders are working together to cut down on 911 wait times. The Mid-America Regional Council is asking Motorola about an automated system. This would filter 911 callers to the police, fire, or the non-emergency 311 line.
Jamie, it is a First Alert Weather Alert Day. Scattered thunderstorms, some of which will likely be severe between 4 and 9 o'clock this evening. And the threats include damaging wind and large hail. The tornado potential is low. We're more concerned with the damaging wind threat. And even still, it's not a guarantee that your community or your town will experience severe weather. Just the ingredients are there for severe weather later this afternoon. You know, it's very humid. You know, we've got a front that'll be coming through. Those are ingredients for thunderstorms. Between 4 and 8 o'clock here in our 12-hour forecast, that's when our potential of severe weather is greatest here in Kansas City, as those storms come in from Nebraska and central Kansas. So that is for this evening. Please make sure you have the KMBC app on your phone. That way, if we need to get you any weather information, watches, warnings, you'll receive that whether you're at Kauffman Stadium, you're sitting at home, or maybe you're out getting dinner with your family. Saturday, sunny, 88 degrees. Sunday, chance of thunderstorms in the evening, and that chance will continue through Monday night into Tuesday morning. It's more scattered rain and thunderstorm chances. Then it looks like it gets hot again by the middle of next week.
Leading the way, getting you prepared so you can plan today with confidence. KMBC 9 News.
Today is a First Alert Weather Alert Day. I want to show you when severe thunderstorms will threaten your community and when that risk will be the greatest.
You have 17 days left to appeal for a Jackson County property assessment. Experts say the more data you have, the better your chances are of getting a smaller tax bill. We'll show you how to access the information that could really make a difference for your case. And starting this weekend, you'll only have to go to one place to find all of the masterpieces in this year's Parade of Hearts. We'll give you that preview. 8:32 on your Friday morning. Thanks so much for spending your morning with us here on First News. I'm Jamie Weiss. Nick Bender is here, and this weather forecast has really taken the turn because now it's an alert day.
It is, and it's alert day. The reason why we upgraded it from an impact day is because our confidence or the chances of severe thunderstorms have increased. So scattered storms, some likely severe. The timing has not changed. Between 4 o'clock this afternoon and 9 o'clock this evening. And the threats haven't changed. Damaging wind, that is the most likely threat. Those probabilities have increased some, but that still remains the most concerning severe weather threat. And then large hail. And I do want to emphasize not all storms will produce severe weather this evening. Not all storms within the risk will produce severe weather. But the ingredients that are present could cause some of those storms to go severe. So make sure you have the umbrella for later as you head out your door. Download the KNBC app so that you can receive any watch or warnings that are issued later today. It is a humid morning. It's almost 80 degrees with scattered clouds, near 80 in Butler, Lacine, 81 in Ottawa, 75 in Lawrence. On our 12-hour forecast for today in Kansas City, the time we need you alert from 4 through about 8 o'clock this evening. That's when our severe potential here in the metro will be at its highest. The temperatures will really start to drop as those storms move in, but it'll be a hot day before the storms move in. That's one of the fuels for the thunderstorms, Johnny. Just that hot air rich with surface moisture should feed those thunderstorms this evening.
All right, thanks so much, Nick. As we take a look at your first alert traffic and progress being made on this accident, we have southbound 69 Highway, the Overland Parkway at the Blue Valley Parkway merge, where we had a truck overturn. Actually went on the other side of the concrete barrier there, the temporary ones they're putting up as part of the construction. It's a zig and zag through where this truck overturned, and I'm surprised really that we haven't had more wrecks through there. Unfortunately, it's just one of those deals, the price of progress. Here's a look though at southbound I-30, 69 Highway, coming off 435 down to the Blue Valley Parkway merge. You can see traffic is really slow through here. It's been on again, off again, back to College Boulevard. Recently it has really eased up, but now I think they're in the process of getting that truck back up right, and as they do that, they may have to shut the highway down momentarily. So bottom line is, one way or the other, count on 15-20 minute drive time delay through here if you're headed in this direction. That ought to be enough time for you to be where you need to be on time. Johnny Rollins, News Chopper 9, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Johnny. Kansas City, Missouri police are looking for a killer after someone was shot and killed inside of a car. Police say a woman flagged them down last night near Linwood Boulevard and Forest Avenue, saying a man was shot inside of a car. He died at the scene. You're still working to get the man's name and information about the shooter. But if you know anything that could help police, call the Crime Stoppers Tips Hotline, 816-474-TIPS. Just hours before this shooting, members of the anti-violence group, KC Mothers in Charge, went door to door in the Blue Hills neighborhood to talk to people about curbing violent crime. Organizers say they chose this neighborhood because of the recent crime. KC Mothers in Charge is made up of women with someone in their lives hurt by a crime. So they've been dedicated to stopping violence before it even starts.
We hear them, we care. Not just let me come out here when it's a homicide, when the worst news you ever got. I'm here before I even get there.
106 people have been killed in Kansas City so far this year. That puts the city on pace to beat the record set in 2020 when 179 people were killed. Again, if you know anything that can help these families find justice, you can always call the Crime Stoppers Tips Hotline at 816-474-TIPS. You never have to give your name to share a tip. Next week, KCPD's Central Patrol Division is holding a community meeting on crime. It'll be at Scottish Rite Temple from 6 to 7:30 on Thursday. The public is welcome, and the Central Patrol Division will work within the boundaries of 47th Street to the Missouri River, as well as State Line to Prospect. A Green Valley couple has been found guilty on murder and sex abuse charges. Michael Hendricks and Maggie Ibarra were charged with killing Kenzie Aubrey. FBI agents found Aubrey's remains in the backyard of Hendricks' home in July of 2021. The couple has also been convicted of several sex crimes, including child enticement. A plane crash in the Lake of the Ozarks has killed 2 people and seriously injured 1 more, and we know that they were all from our area. 19-year-old Evan Vandeveer of Richmond and 22-year-old Hayden Richard of Carrollton died in that crash happening Thursday just outside of the airport in Brumley, Missouri. The Piper PA-28 crashed after taking off, coming down at an old golf course off 54 Highway. A witness saw the plane spiraling to the ground. A park ranger helped state troopers find the wreckage. 54-year-old Gary Vandever, also of Richmond, is still at the hospital with serious injuries. With just weeks left to appeal surging property assessments in Jackson County, a local expert recommends people ask for evidence of their new assessment. Preston Smith spent 14 years on the Jackson County Board of Equalization. He says homeowners should file a sunshine request with the state. That way, you can see what evidence the county assessor's office is using to value your house.
When you're actually able to see what they use to how they arrive at those numbers, most people are shocked. Like, you've got to be kidding. The data is more corrupt, more disorganized, and more inaccurate than it ever has been.
Well, there is a portal on the county's website for open records requests, and Smith suggests you file sooner rather than later because the average turnaround time is 2 to 3 weeks. Tomorrow, you can get help with the appeals process. A couple of county legislatures and Missouri state representatives are going to be at the Colonial Presbyterian Church at 95th and Warnell. Starting at 2 tomorrow afternoon, you can speak with them, get some advice. You do need to register ahead of time to appear in person or over Zoom. It's 8:38 and the Kansas City Royals began the second half of their season today, and you're definitely going to notice some changes at Kauffman Stadium. KMBC 9's Rebecca Gannon joining us live this morning at the K. And Rebecca, I'm noticing something beautiful behind you, something I think all Royals fans are going to love.
I thought you were going to be talking about me, Jamie, but I understand. It's fine. Yeah, we're here on the left field side of the K. And yeah, there's 40 Parade of Heart KC Hearts here on display for the next week. And of course, we're a little partial to this one here behind me. Kurt Nelson, you were actually one of those.
I am. I'm somewhere in front of that stage there. I don't know which dot I am, but maybe if you get up close, maybe I'll look like a dot there. It was one of the great days of my life, I can tell you that.
Well, okay, so there's a lot going on at the Kauffman Center, or excuse me, at the Kauffman Stadium right now, aside from the Hearts, right?
Yeah, so the Hearts are here for this homestand, and we're really excited to have them here for art. But then the boys are back in town, so we got some ball games going on as well. And so if people would want to come out to the ball game, you can see the 40 Hearts here. But if you want to come out and take a tour of the ballpark, you can do that as well. We're open for tours during this homestand, and we'd love to have people come out. You can see the Hearts. You can also see some parts of the ballpark that maybe you don't normally see in the dugout and the press box and the interview room and all that sort of good stuff. And a lot of great promotions on this particular homestand. T-shirt Tuesday's back, of course, fireworks tonight. So just tons of stuff to do. Be sure to come out. It's summertime in Kansas City. You got to come out to the ballpark.
I mean, there's a lot going on here. And if I get a Kurt tour, I get like the special tour that goes a little bit longer. But I love it. You are just a font of knowledge. You've been here 25 years. So you have so much to tell us about. So I really appreciate your time this morning. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for coming out. It's been great having you.
Anytime. Loving it. And again, Parade of Hearts is here for the next week. All 40 Hearts. Like I said, this is on the left field side of things. But it's here for a week. Auction opens up next Wednesday, so you can bid. I think 8,000 people bid on the last round of Hearts. So get your bids in. Again, it starts on Wednesday, and you can see them for the next week, so you can really touch what you think you want to buy. Reporting here at Kauffman Stadium, Rebecca Gannon, KMBC 9 News.
All right, thank you, Rebecca. Yes, I loved that heart, especially celebrating the Royals. We need to give a heads up, though, Nick, to all the people going to the Royals game today. They need to have a weather plan in place.
Yeah, that chance of thunderstorms just has increased. Not only the chance of thunderstorms, but some severe thunderstorms as well. So we've highlighted that time between 4 and 9 o'clock this evening, and we've upgraded to an alert day because our confidence in thunderstorms, some of which will be severe, has increased from earlier this morning. Clouds will begin to clear out overnight. So after 9, 10 o'clock, that rain begins to move out. It'll leave us sunny and dry on Saturday, 88 degrees for a high. We're back into the 90s on Sunday. Dry Sunday morning, dry Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening and Sunday night, rain and thunderstorm chances return. Some of those storms on Sunday night could even be on the stronger side, but we're focused right now on this afternoon and this evening's severe weather potential. Jamie.
Okay, appreciate the heads up. Thanks, Nick. Hey, want to give you the heads up. KC streetcar crews are going to continue their work on that buckled rail on Main Street near the I-670 bridge. On the right is a picture from the streetcar's Twitter account showing crews setting that new rail, and they are working around the clock just to fix everything and get the streetcar back up and running. Keep in mind, it is expected to take a few more weeks to fix, but don't worry, the Main Street Max bus service will be running along the streetcar line just to help people get around. Doing some good while getting something for free. This morning, KMBC9 First News is picking up the tab for your cup of coffee, all to support KVC's Back to School Drive. First Alert Weather's Katie Horner joining us live in Lenexa this morning. And Katie, how can we get people to support kids and get some free coffee while doing so?
Well, hopefully the gift of free coffee will get you into where we are having Coffee with a Cause, which is the Black Dog Coffee House here in Lenexa. It is really starting to get busy in here, but we've got about 15 minutes before we'll start picking up your tab for your coffee. And there's plenty to choose from, and we invite you to come out between 9 and 10 this morning for that free cup of Joe on KMBC. We have partnered with Black House Coffee and KVC to help provide needed items for children in foster care. Joining me is Amanda. You are with KVC. What does KVC do?
Well, we provide a wide range of services to children and families that, are experiencing foster care, are, at risk for foster care, or may just need some extra therapeutic services.
So today, Channel 9 wants to provide socks, underwear, backpacks with school supplies, an opportunity to go shopping for your first day of school clothing outfit. And that was in part of your idea. Why is it important for you to provide new clothing for children as they go back to school?
So our children and families have been through so much, many, things that we couldn't even imagine ourselves going through. And so the last thing we want is for our children to have to worry about, where are my school supplies going to come from, and what am I going to wear on my first day of school? And, we want them to be kids. We don't want them to be worried about those things. And in addition to that, we get donations for school, but this is a unique opportunity that we're really grateful for because our kids are going to be able to pick their outfit, which is huge.
Yeah, so bringing kids that confidence as they head to school. Thank you, Amanda. And you can come out and talk to Amanda and the rest of our team. Cody and Donna are here as well. We look forward to seeing you. Coffee begins for free in less than 15 minutes, Jamie. Katie Horner in Lenexa, back downtown to you.
All right, thank you, Katie. I cannot wait for some coffee later on today. First, it was the writers, and now the actors are on strike too. We'll explain how losing such vital parts of the entertainment industry could affect movies and TV shows for the foreseeable future. Plus, we have new details on a development plan for Kansas City, Missouri. We'll explain how the city plans to turn an old industrial area into something everyone can enjoy.
Your station leading the way with First Alert Weather, Kansas City's largest, most experienced team, KMBC 9 News.
And welcome back. It is 8:47. Taking a look at your first alert traffic, and we have our share of problems still hanging on here. Southbound 69 Highway, Overland Parkway. You can see to the right there a truck on its side. Tried to get it back up with a crane a while ago. May have been just repositioning. It looks like they're going to try and drag it back upright, pull it back upright here in the next little bit. But it, as predicted, isn't happening very quickly, and we don't anticipate this is going to clear anytime soon, even though all the activity is on the other side of that temporary concrete barrier. So with that, still the backup beyond 119th Street. Again, kind of on again, off again. Sometimes they open up a couple of lanes, then it goes back down to one, and so it's tough to tell. If you allow 20-25 minutes extra time, if this is the only way for you to go, then that should put you in pretty good shape. Or the alternate route would be jumping off 435 at Metcalf, southbound there to Blue Valley Parkway. That will merge to the left there with the 69 Highway southbound, put you past all that activity. In fact, that's in the foreground. That's the ramp you're seeing going to southbound 69. Johnny Rollins, News Chopper 9, back to you in the studio.
Some star power is now joining the picket line in LA and New York. Actors will now be joining the picket line alongside writers today. This comes as members of SAG-AFTRA are pushing for better wages, residuals from streaming services, and guards against AI mimicking their work. There's no talks planned and no end in sight for the work stoppage.
What are we doing? Moving around furniture on the Titanic? It's crazy. So the jig is up, AMPTP. We stand tall. You have to wake up and smell the coffee.
Actors joining the strike will impact filming, promotions for upcoming works, and much more. It's also expected to impact Emmy campaigning. Right now, thousands of people in Kansas and Missouri are battling to keep their health care coverage. KMBC 9's Cody Holyoke is watching an issue affecting children and families this week on Heart of the Matter.
There's a major change now in the works when it comes to Medicaid, the government-funded health insurance for low-income people and families, folks with disabilities. A pandemic pause on enforcing eligibility is now over. Before the pandemic, recipients had to prove every year that they still qualified for health care. That went away during COVID. But now that the national emergency is over, confusion is growing as people start to get notices that they're losing health care coverage, sometimes for something as simple as a change of address.
People could lose coverage and everything that comes along with that. Let's be very proactive, getting the information, the news out that this is happening, and making sure that you don't lose that coverage.
This week on Heart of the Matter, I sit down with advocates working to make sure Missourians don't fall through the cracks. We'll discuss what recipients in both our states need to do to keep their coverage. We're also watching a major effort to help thousands of kids in the foster care system, an effort you can join. And a new documentary exposes a dark period in our nation's history. We'll speak with the director about the push to bring the truth to light and get an update on a similar story close to home. It's all this week on Heart of the Matter. We'll see you then.
Don't miss this week's episode of Heart of the Matter, Sunday at 11 on KMBC 9. Kansas City, Missouri Mayor Quinton Lucas says the City Council approved a new program to provide photo ID cards to people who can't get state-issued IDs. This is called the Fountain Card. And look here on your screen, this is what it's going to look like. It'll let people who don't have a driver's license or other photo ID use libraries, city services, healthcare, as well as checking and savings accounts. The measure passed 10-1. We are getting a new look at plans for Kansas City's next entertainment district, Meet Penway Point. It's going to sit at the intersection of Pershing and Penway. It is planned as a family-friendly environment spanning 6 acres of the former Carter Waters industrial site. The goal here is to give people a safe and central place near downtown to enjoy all that Kansas City has to offer.
It's extremely exciting to be involved. I feel blessed to be a part of this project, to be doing something that's going to change the landscape of Kansas City forever, and we're going to deliver a great project for the city.
Planners say the space will be built to adapt to the seasons to make it enjoyable all year long, and the goal is to open early next year. Chiefs Kingdom is waiting to see what sort of deal is going to get done between the Chiefs and defensive tackle Chris Jones. Well, yesterday, the Jets defensive tackle Quinnen Williams signed a new deal that could really shape Jones's deal. Williams has agreed to a 4-year, $96 million deal with the Jets, and that could be used as a measuring stick for the Chiefs to get a deal done with Chris Jones. We're just going to have to wait and see what gets done. Training camp starts next week. And before we can get to training camp, Nick, we got to get through the forecast today, an impact day for most of the metro.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, Jamie, we've just now upgraded that to an alert day because our confidence in severe thunderstorms has increased between 4 and 9 o'clock this evening. Thunderstorms, some of which will likely be severe. And we have a very humid air mass here in Kansas City that'll fuel those afternoon thunderstorms. 78 degrees right now. We look ahead on our 12-hour forecast in Kansas City. We need you to be alert as early as 4 o'clock this afternoon and remain alert through 9 o'clock this evening. That's the greatest potential for severe weather here in Kansas City. It's during that time when those initial thunderstorms start to bubble up here. And we can see that here with FutureScan. By 4 o'clock this afternoon, storms begin to bubble up. There'll be a much larger complex of thunderstorms back to the west that comes out of Nebraska into central Kansas that moves east, southeast here. It looks like from Leavenworth to Kansas City, Lee Summit down to Clinton. That's the most likely corridor for damaging wind. And then by 9 o'clock, those storms will begin to dissipate as the rain moves out by midnight. And of course, that rain would be beneficial. It's coming with the chance of severe weather. So we've highlighted 2 areas here. This is one of the reasons why we've increased to an alert. The probability or chance of damaging wind has increased here for Kansas City and eastern Kansas. Even the potential of 75-mile-an-hour wind gusts, a low tornado risk. We're more concerned about the wind. Less of a severe risk here into the yellow color into central and northern Missouri. Regardless of what color or category you're in, we need everybody to prepare the same way. Have a severe weather safety plan, know where you're going to be, and know where you need to go to stay safe, and have the KMBC app on your smartphones. That way you can get any watch or warning information if it's sent out. Saturday, sunny, 88 degrees. Our thunderstorm chances return Sunday evening. Slight chance on Monday into Tuesday morning, and then it looks like it gets hot again by the middle of next week.
A heads up for drivers. Overland Park police still on scene of a semi crash on southbound 69 highway near Blue Valley Parkway. And for hours now, this has been causing a massive backup leading all the way to 435. If you can avoid the area, you're going to want to. Otherwise, expect a 20 to 30 minute drive time delay. Kansas City, Missouri police are looking for a killer after someone was shot and killed inside of a car. Police say a woman flagged them down last night near Linwood Boulevard and Forest Avenue, saying a man was shot inside of a car. He died at the scene. If you know anything, you can call the Crime Stoppers Tips hotline at 816-474-TIPS. A Green Valley couple has been found guilty on murder and sex abuse charges. Michael Hendricks and Maggie Ibarra were charged with killing Kenzie Aubrey. FBI agents found Aubrey's remains in the backyard of the Hendricks home in July of 2021. The couple has also been convicted of several sex crimes, including child enticement.
Jamie, we continue to heat up on a First Alert Weather Alert Day, and that's going to be for thunderstorms this afternoon and this evening. It's 83 degrees. We look ahead to this afternoon and this evening on our 12-hour forecast between 4 and 9 o'clock. That's the most likely time for severe weather here in the metro. And the reason why we've upgraded it to an alert day, our confidence in severe thunderstorms, damaging wind, has increased from earlier this morning. So those storms may develop as early as 4 o'clock, kind of scattered out here near Kansas City, and then a larger complex of storms will come out of Kansas. Looks like it might pass just southwest of Kansas City, but we're including that metro on that severe potential, and then those storms will move out overnight. So what do we do with all this information? What's our calls to action? Check the forecast often throughout the day. Again on KMBC at noon with First Alert meteorologist Katie Horner, and have the KMBC app on your smartphone. That way, if there's any watches or warnings issued, you will receive them in enough time to take action later this afternoon and this evening.